We'll say something more natural. Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all feeling today? You know what I'm saying?
How are you guys feeling today?
You sound so like a robot. Oh, man.
I have no emotions,
Yeah,
apparently. That's what Anusha told me. She was like, "You're like a robot."
Oh, man.
I'm like, okay. She was joking, but I was like,
serious. You know what
I
I'm
kinda
saying?
heard
About Joe, there's a little truth in there.
yeah, for real though. All right, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, the Bad Boys. Got my good friend Tyrone with me. You already know, Bad Boys.
My bad, I didn't see you.
You fine. I was gonna stand there. Today we're reacting to why guys have such unrealistic expectations of women. I didn't know that we had unrealistic expectations, but I actually do want to see what this guy says. We always hear about women having high expectations of men, so I want to see what.
Reverse.
Yeah, I want to see what the reverse. We want to see the reverse. Anything to say before we get in it?
Let's start.
All right, let's start. Without further ado, let's get to it.
Why are men's expectations so unrealistic? To answer your question quickly, if a person seems to have unrealistic expectations, it's likely that you're being compared to a person somewhere. Many times that can be a fantasy or a mix of a few real people they have dated. People always like to Frankenstein the perfect partner and then imagine that as possible and apply that responsibility to whoever tries to enter their life. Which is why for so many people, no one is good enough. But this goes both ways. Men and women alike do this. And if I'm being honest, as it relates to behavior, women do this more than men. And as it relates to looks and vanity, men do this more than.
Didn't I tell you? I told you he was going to just talk about the looks.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that
man.
women can say men have a high expectation. But like I said earlier,
You switched that quick.
yeah, that title was to draw you in.
All right, I'm thinking you finna get down to the nick and gritty. I'm like, I'm in my head like, man, what like?
We already talked about it. It's just the physical aspect, and we don't necessarily put that on women. Society puts that on women. We're obviously part of society, but women put that more sometimes.
Hey,
Women
babe,
put
y'all
that,
look fat in this?
yeah, they put that more on themselves than I feel like we do sometimes. Like I like a woman with a little bit of meat and like
imperfections, boy.
Yeah, imperfections and stuff like that. But I understand some women, they see the magazines, the Rihannas and everything, and just so. Yeah.
But both sexes do this at an equal rate. Don't miss me with the man bashing for this video, please. We're all responsible for a little bit of this bullshit. Online dating has changed us forever. There was a time where people were happier and didn't require so much perfection from their potential partners. Where people wanted to commit and grow and love slowly. Where people didn't need the instant gratification. Where people value the process of getting to know a person. And they expected to grow and evolve with a person to become great. And didn't have to start out great. But the internet has changed all of that. Now online dating sites show us all the people in the world that we would love to screw, but can't. Or that we would love to be in love with, but can't. Even so, we know they exist now, so we gaze across our beds just a little bit less enchanted with our own partners or prospects. Being inundated with so much variety and possibilities explodes our relationship with fantasy to heights unattainable to our reality.
How do you feel about that? Looking at that screen and then looking at your partner and being like, I guess I'm okay. I'm content.
First thing first, if you a man or a woman and you don't got yourself fully together yourself, you should not have no expectations on another person. You need to get your act together before you can essentially apply what you want in another person to somebody else. I mean, to be in a part of yours.
No, definitely.
But to what he was saying, yeah, I kind of agree to a certain extent. Like the internet and things of that nature give a lot of people this false reality about what they think they need, and they like, well, essentially when you get that, it might not be all that's cracked up to be.
That's fair, and I think this is probably not his view, but it's like the viewpoint of like other people that he's probably spoken to or something. As far as like looking over and being dissatisfied with your partner, or just being like, this girl isn't good enough, this girl isn't good enough, this person isn't good enough, because you've had better before in that certain area with the person. So he said like the whole Frankenstein, like, oh, I dated 3 girls. I'm gonna take her best physical features, her mental features,
combined,
and then I want a woman that looks like this, acts like this. You understand that you coexist well with that, so therefore you look for that in the next relationship, or you would like that.
Okay.
You know. But all those areas, you may not get a perfect person, but in some of those important areas, you know, it's kind of important.
Illogically raising our expectations. Now you can see the person of your dreams at the click of a mouse. And a million clicks later, it's a new person that's still the person of your dreams. But when you go outside, when you live your life, it's just the same old regular ass people. This creates frustration and disenchantment, but it also creates unrealistic expectations for what's possible. Especially since a lot of those people we see on the internet aren't real themselves, to a degree. Knowing that there are more perfect people out there, or people who we believe to be more perfect than us, gives us buyer's remorse for any real person we might encounter. Men and women were both happier when all they knew that existed was the current state and the current version of their partners. Men loved harder when all they knew was their real woman, not the 2.0 version of her with the 42-inch ass and the 36 C's that she's missing, and the skin that looks airbrushed. And probably is. Women were much more happy with their men until they found out that they had a doppelganger 2 hours away that was 4 inches taller, with a nicer voice, prettier eyes, and a bigger wallet. Before the internet, we had far less people to compare ourselves and our significant others to, so we had less cause to be happy or disenchanted.
Okay, you said you agree about it.
I totally understand what he means. Thinking that there's someone better suited for you, you know the saying, grass is always greener on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, let's say I meet a girl and, you know, we're hitting it off, everything's essentially perfect with our relationship. But if I'm being honest, you know, and not saying me, but let's say if I'm being honest with myself in that relationship, if she was, you know, an inch taller, had a bigger butt, and liked to go to the gym, that would make our relationship even better, I feel like. So that's what he's talking about. And I understand that some people do think like that, so they can do a lot of comparison.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
if your current girl don't like doing something that you really want your girl to do,
Mhm.
well, why talk to her in the first place? Why not try to at least get the girl that does everything that you want?
You can't find someone that does everything that you want, and that's why.
I mean, that seems kind of, you know,
not every little thing.
Not every little thing,
but like some major core things that's important to you. Like I said, going to the gym, being spiritual, and, you know, maybe liking basketball. Let's say I hold those 3 things, and just, you know, respecting me, myself as a man, and then like being a family person. Let's say I hold those things in high regard. Outside of that, you know, you're gonna have to compromise with whoever you get in a
So
relationship
let's
with.
say you have a woman like that, right? Let's say you have a woman, you're saying that, okay, I might have a woman, let's say she like playing basketball, let's say she got a nice, you know, shape, let's say she's spiritual and things of that nature. You're saying there's still somebody that's always, quote unquote, better than that, or can do something better than that.
I'm saying that I understand what he means, and some people think like that and feel like that.
Okay.
Personally, when I'm in a relationship, there's no woman that's more beautiful. Like, I literally don't find women attractive outside of my relationship.
Okay.
Like, I do. I can say, like, oh, if you say Justice A, she cute, I'd be like, oh yeah, she's cute. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, she cute.
Not gonna be a freak with it.
Yeah, no. I'll just be like, yeah, she cute. But like, if I'm in a relationship and my heart is with somebody, yeah. What about you?
I mean, personally, when I look at women like on the internet, I just think that like the way he says it makes it seem like, you know, guys are, well, to be honest, he might be true. Some guys might be like that, you know.
Yeah.
In terms
And some
of
women
this.
are like that too.
Yeah, some like, oh man, this is a beautiful woman. I need to have this. I need to have that. I'm a little bit more realistic. I'm like, yeah, this model probably won't speak to me. And to be honest, I probably won't really want to speak to her because
Number one, she probably don't look like that in real life, and even if she did,
she
like,
probably comes with a lot of like money, paper. You know what I mean?
that, and who's to say that she's even your type?